Hello and welcome to Charter Local Edition. I'm your host, Pablo Pereira. Today we are speaking with Jeff Reinhardt. He is the Public Affairs and Communication Manager for the Las Virgenes Municipal Water District. This is an area that handles areas like Calabasas, Agora, Westlake Village, and such. Jeff, thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here, Pablo.
Jeff, obviously we got to get right down to it. There is a severe water shortage here in California.
Right. And the difference between a water shortage and a drought is something we're often asked. And what makes this different is, yes, we've had substandard rain and snow throughout the state this year, roughly only 65% or so of the normal year's precipitation. But another thing limiting the supply of water to our region in Southern California is a federal judge's order limiting the amount of water that can be pumped. And he made that decision based on his responsibilities under the Endangered Species Act to protect some species that are threatened up in the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta, which of course all of our water passes through to come here. So if folks have driven up and down the I-5, they see the aqueduct next to the freeway. That's their water generally on the way to us, but we've just seen a great limitation in the amount of water that can reach us. So it's not just the drought, it's more.
Right, but districts like yours are a little bit different than some of the larger districts in Southern California simply because you are 100% totally dependent on water deliveries from other parts of the state.
That's correct. We have no local sources of water in the Las Virgenes district. Unfortunately, underground, it's volcanic substrate, so it's kind of a spongy thing where if water does get into it, it generally kind of drips right through. Or if there were pools of water, back in the day they used to drill wells and find it. There was a well in Calabasas that was known as Old Stinky because of the sulfur content, so people didn't like it, and understandably so. Nor do we have any streams or rivers that we can dam up and take that water. Other locations, such as the city of LA, can draw on the Owens River project. They have some underground water they can draw upon, and of course the state water project.
Clearly, all water agencies in Southern California are feeling the effects of this. The governor recently declared a statewide, drought issue. And what are agencies like yours doing to combat the problem?
Well, each is going to respond based on their individual needs, but our district is, as you mentioned earlier, feeling the strain of only having one source of water and that being limited. So we have gone ahead and through an action of our board, we're implementing what we call water budgets. And we've sent a mailing to each of our customers saying, here's what you used in 2008, just as a base of comparison. And then we say to them, here's what we need to see you use in 2009 and 10.
And how much of a reduction are we talking about here?
Depends on the customer because it's based on the size of the lot that they're doing. We're not basing it purely on historical use. In fact, historical use isn't the issue. It's looking forward to make sure that the family's basic needs are covered and then making a proportional allotment for the specific size of the property they're on.
You've got water restrictions in place. There are now fines tied to these things and such. Other than going over the fines, what can we anticipate as far as our water rates increasing this summer compared to, say, a year ago?
Well, our program is not based on additional costs, although there may be some later on. Metropolitan Water District, which is our wholesale supplier, will be increasing their costs later this year and next.
So it's on usage then?
We're strictly on usage, and if you are working within the budget that we assign to a customer, then they would just pay normal rates. But if they exceed the budget, then there will be a penalty applied to the usage above the budgeted amount.
All right, that's Jeff Reinhardt with the Las Virgenes Municipal Water District. We thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, Pablo.
All right, that's going to do it for this edition of Charter Local Edition. I'm Pablo Pereira. Thanks so much for joining us.